Lake stocking takes place, usually we'll start about April 1st and we'll go April, May, June. And the reason we stock the lakes in the springtime is the water temperatures of the lake are closely match what the rearing temperatures are at the hatchery, which is around 10 or 11 degrees. So we want to match that. We want to, as you see the water coming out of the filling the truck, it's groundwater. It's the same water that we rear our fish in. And you'll see at the bottom of the tanks, there's some oxygen racks, and we have to oxygenate the water because these fish are being carried in these trucks in very high densities. So we have to have a constant flow of oxygen, which have to be monitored very closely in transit. And you can see the gauges here, and that'll just meter out the flow of pure oxygen. Of course, if you have more biomass in the truck, you'll need a little bit more liters per minute of oxygen. Small fish tend to take up more oxygen than large fish, and it all has to be monitored by the fish culturist. And it's all done in transit. So it's in some ways quite a challenge to get these fish from the hatchery to the lake. But we, of course, been doing it for many years and have more or less perfected the technique. A couple days before we stock the lakes, the fish that are going to be stocked into the lakes are actually starved for a couple days. And that's just so they haul better, and they just perform a lot better in the truck if they're on an empty stomach. So what we'll do the day before, or even the same day that they're stocked, we'll do a sample count. So we'll determine the number of fish per kilo. For example, if there's 100 fish per kilo, and we want to stock a lake with 1,000 fish, we'll put 10 kilos of fish in the tank, or or whatever number that you need. So it's really we have a very high degree of accuracy. It's within a couple of % when we do the sample counts. So you'll see we have to lower the pond down, and we'll crowd the fish down the pond, gently, making sure that there's enough flow coming into the pond. It's all done fairly meticulously and carefully. Once we get the fish crowded in a ready position, the truck will be in position underneath the boom net. We'll load the 20 or 30 or 40 kilos per net into the tank. Now this large truck, this is one of our larger trucks that we use. It can stock, it's between sometimes one lake if it's a very large lake, and sometimes up to 10 lakes from this one truck. So we'll go out to the lakes and sometimes weigh out the fish out into. We'll have a scale on the truck. We'll weigh out per lake, or often if it's a bit more fish or it's a whole tank of fish, we'll just discharge them with our outlet pipes. So you basically just pull the plunger on the gate, and the fish go out into the lake. Now you'll see the scale on there is fairly accurate. I mean, it's for big fish. We use a much finer scale for small fish, and that'll act. We'll keep track of the weight, and just every lake is metered out this way.
In the mornings, what they'll do is these gentlemen will come in. We'll have our water set up here for the tank systems, which you probably already went through. They've already calculated the number of fish they're going to require for the whole trip. What we do then is I'll look at their list, and what they've done is they've made a priority list or a wonderful pattern throughout our route that allows us to do a fairly efficient run through the different lakes. And once we depart here, we'll head to the first one and then just carry on down through it. They'll also talk here about their different which species and which fish will go where. The idea is I use these maps here to help determine which will go where, and it'll help me if there's some of these lakes, there's some obscure names, I don't know them all yet. But once we're within a proximity, and usually about 2 to 3 minutes out, they have the dumping pail there. I'll let them know, and then they will allocate a number of fish onto that pail, and then within 2 minutes they'll open up a door. I will do an approach and a very kind of a low and slow flight over the lake at a speed that allows them to dump the fish off so it doesn't harm them upon landing into the lake itself. And then we just move on to the next ones, and we go through again, it looks like about 25 today for each shift.